Hello everyone, Genk here, and today we're doing our first team run in a while. We're going to see if I can beat Pokemon Shield with only Kabu's team and moveset. This is Kabu's team. Pretty stacked, right? Well, these are their movesets. Ember and Quick Attack on Ninetales, and between Arcanine and Cinescorch, neither have a move that has more than 60 base power. At least Cinescorch has a setup move? Let's go over the rules. I can only use Kabu's team and moveset. No items in battle, only held items outside of combat are allowed. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin. For the challenge, we started at the wall area. The reason I went with Shield was because Arcanine is catchable right outside Motostoke, and Sword, Growlithe is replaced with Vulpix. However, this makes Growlithe only available outside Hammerlock. The reason I chose Shield was because no matter which game, there is a Vulpix in Kabu's gym mission. In order to get the Growlithe to spawn, we need sunny weather. So I set my switch to July 1st, which is a guaranteed day for intense sun. Growlithe took a while to catch, because I chose Grookey as my starter. This gave Hop Sobble, the hardest starter for us to beat. We eventually caught a level 11 Growlithe. Oh, and another thing we had to pay attention to is that our Growlithe needed Intimidate to match Kabu's. At level 11, we only had Bite. But a couple of raids later, we got Growlithe up to level 14, where he got Flame Wheel. We picked up the one Firestone available to us right now, but we need the Growlithe to be level 20 to learn Agility before we could evolve it. That means we're off to Motostoke to attend the opening ceremony. Following the ceremony is a battle of Hop. Wooloo was a 2 KO with Flame Wheel. For Sobble, we had to use Bite, but I picked up the Black Glasses to boost its damage. Sobble was a 4 KO, but for some reason, it never went for Water Gun. It only used either Growl or Pound. So Growlithe was still in green health when Sobble went down. Last is Rookidee. Sobble's growls lowered Growlithe's attack by a lot, so we were not doing that much damage. But then, our second Flame Wheel got burned, cutting Rookidee's attack in half, giving us the win. This opened up Route 3, where we can catch our second Pokemon, Sizzlipede. I was having trouble finding one. I ended up taking out a Growlithe we had with Flash Fire, because Flash Fire increases the encounter rate for fire types. We then got our first Sizzlipede within 2 encounters. We ended up needing to catch a second one because our first one was Modest Nature. We will be using physical moves. Our second one was Rash Nature, but I just went with it. It didn't lower attack or speed. Next up was Scout Mind, where we had the battle Bead. However, Bite just made quick work of his team. Time for the first gym. I decided to get both Growlithe and Sizzlipede up to level 20, which meant I could finally evolve Growlithe. This might have been a little overkill. I decided to leave with Sizzlipede. Bug Bite almost took a Gossifleur, so we didn't get hit, but Gossifleur is pretty weak. I chose Sizzlipede because his typing makes him double resist grass. Against Eldegoss, it went first, but it went for Max Overgrowth, as Max Flutterby did half his health. Eldegoss' second Max Overgrowth doesn't even take Sizzlipede to half health, as one more Max Flutterby finished up Eldegoss. We can now enter Route 5, where we have our next battle with Hop. Wooloo was a 2 KO from Sizzlipede's Flame Wheel. This sent out Corvisquire, so I switched to Arcanine. Corvisquire was a 2 KO with Flame Wheel, but its pick was weak thanks to Intimidate. Last is Drizzile. Arcanine's Bite flinched twice in a row, taking Drizzile easily to red health. This caused Hop to use a Super Potion. However, we then got a third flinch, allowing Arcanine to take out Drizzile without taking a single hit of damage. Next would be the Water Gym, but first we need to make a detour. I got Sizzlipede up to level 28, in order to evolve it into Cinescorch. I then went to the Isle of Armor. There, I picked up a second Firestone and started the Dojo quest. We only need to do 2 of Mustard's 3 quests in order to unlock Max Soup. Max Soup is how we can give our Cinescorch the ability to Gigantamax. Okay, now we can face Nessa. We led with Arcanine. He outsped Goldeen, who was looking like a 3 KO with Bite. However, we never got a flinch, so Arcanine was below half when Goldeen went down. Arcuda took Arcanine to a quarter with Aqua Jet, as Bite did half. Arcanine then survived a second Aqua Jet with only 1 HP, allowing him to take out Arcuda. Last is Dreadnought. I switched to Cinescorch. I decided to stall out the Dynamax with 2 Max Guards and a G-Max Inferno in order to step a Fire Spin. Dreadnought did go for Max Geyser, but it didn't do that much damage. I think we're a tad over level. Outside Dynamax, Dreadnought missed the Razor Shell, as Bugbite took Dreadnought to a quarter. Dreadnought then landed its next Razor Shell, taking out Cinescorch. This Fire Spin then took Dreadnought to red health. All we had was our 1 HP Arcanine, but then Dreadnought missed Razor Shell for a second time, giving us a very narrow win. Next up was Scouter Mine number 2. We were having another battle with Bede. His team was a sweep with Arcanine. We could now go back to Motostoke, where we had to battle Marnie. Krogunk was a one-shot Flame Wheel. I'm pretty sure Krogunk's ability makes it taking more damage from fire moves. Scraggy was a 2 KO from Flame Wheel, so Arcanine got hit with Low Kick, which did a third. Last is Morpeko. It went first, and its bite took Arcanine yellow health, as Flame Wheel took Morpeko to just above half. Morpeko's second bite only left Arcanine in the red, so Morpeko went down. We cannot earn the third gym, and catch our final Pokemon. By taking Ninetales to a move reminder, we could teach her Ember or Quick Attack, but we had to evolve Vulpix into Ninetales in order to teach her Fire Spin. Time for Kabu. I led with Arcanine. Ninetales was a 4 KO with Bite, but Ninetales only did weak damage to Ember, so Arcanine was still at high health. I then kept our Arcanine for Kabu's Arcanine. We went first, but Bite didn't do that much damage thanks to Intimidate. I decided to switch to Cinescorch instead of a single Coil. Coil boosts attack, defense, and accuracy. Flame Wheel then took Arcanine to a quarter. Arcanine was spamming Bite, and we did get some bad luck, but Arcanine eventually went down with Cinescorch at a little under half health. Last is Kabu Cinescorch. We were both spamming Max Flutterby, but our Cinescorch was faster and stronger, so while we did get into the red, Kabu Cinescorch went out first. This gym battle gave us Will-O-Wisp, giving Arcanine his final move. Ninetales already naturally knew Will-O-Wisp. We can now enter Hammerlock, and make our way to Stoneside, where we have the battle Hop. Hop's team for this battle was rather difficult, 2 water types and a ground type. I got the team to all at least level 30. I led with Arcanine for the Intimidate. Cramorant survived Bite at half health and went for Dive. I had Arcanine use Agility, as Cramorant's dive did a third. Cramorant went down the next turn, but this caused Gulp Missile to take Arcanine to below half and paralyze him. I switched to Cinescorch for Silicobra. I had Cinescorch set up 2 coils, as Silicobra went for Dig, doing only 13 HP. Silicobra then survived Flame Wheel and red health, allowing it to use Glare, paralyzing Cinescorch. Hop then used a Super Potion, but it didn't heal Silicobra the full, so it went down. Next is Drizzle. It wasted its turn around, causing it to be one-shot by Bite. Last is Toxel, who was also a one-shot. Time for the 4th gym. This one took some strategizing. I led with Ninetales and started with Will-O-Wisp and Fire Spin. I was baiting Yamask to use Disable, which it did, disabling Fire Spin. This gave us free reign to use Ember and take out Yamask. Next is Cursola. Ninetales missed Will-O-Wisp twice, as Cursola went for Curse and then Ancient Power, which took out Ninetales. I brought in Arcanine, who took out Cursola. Mimikyu outsped Arcanine and did some damage with Slash, but Arcanine got off a Will-O-Wisp, cutting Mimikyu's attack. Mimikyu then only went for one more slash as we started spamming Flame Wheel. Mimikyu also used Home Claws, but then it switched to Baby Lies, before going down. Last is Gengar. I switched to Cinescorch. Gengar went first and did little damage with Max Darkness, as our G-Max and Inferno did a lot of damage. The Fire Spin damage taking Gengar to half. The special defense drop from Max Darkness, along with the crit, allowed Gengar's Max Ooze to do a lot of damage. But we survived, taking Gengar to a sliver with G-Max and Inferno, causing it to go down to Fire Spin. Finally, the gym is about Bede. Duosion survived Arcanine's battle with the sliver. This allowed Duosion to set up Reflect, and Bede to use a Super Potion. We had switched to Flame Wheel for some reason, but this caused Duosion to live 2 hits on a sliver, and do big damage with Psyshock before going down. Bite only did a third to Gothorita, as it went for Fake Tears. However, then Duosion's Reflect wore off, allowing our next Bite to take out Gothorita. Pointa was a one-shot, leaving only Hatra. Hatra survived Bite on a quarter, allowing it to use Psybeam, which Arcanine survived on 2 HP, giving us the win. Time for the 5th gym. I led with Ninetales. We went for our Will-O-Wisp Fire Spin combo, as Weezing used Sludge. Its second one took Ninetales to yellow health, activating our Citrus Berry. Ember did good damage, but then Weezing's third sludge got the poison. We took out Weezing, but Ninetales was left in red health. I had Ninetales burn Togekiss before going down. I then sent out Arcanine. Arcanine's Flame Wheel did a third, as Togekiss's Ancient Power was also doing like a third. Thankfully, Arcanine was faster, so Togekiss went down first. This sent out Mawile, who has Intimidate, but that didn't matter, as Flame Wheel one-shot. Last is Alcremie. I switched to Cinescorch. Alcremie went first, and used its resisted G-Max Finale. Cinescorch's G-Max Inferno, and the following Fire Spin took Alcremie to almost half, leading us to using all 3 turns of Dynamax to take out Alcremie. We could now head back to Hammerlock, where we have to battle Hop. Trevenant was easy to deal with. This no sent out Inteleon, who outspeeds, and no Snipe Shot. We got the team all to the high 30s and low 40s. I leveled Ninetales. We got off a Will-O-Wisp as Trevenant used Confuse Ray. Ninetales then proceeded to hit herself twice in a row. Thankfully she then snapped out Confusion, and Ember took Trevenant to half health. A second one took Trevenant to a sliver. Hop then used his Hyper Potion, but we set up a Fire Spin. Ninetales went down, but not without taking Trevenant with her. We switched to Arcanine as Hop sent out Heatmor. We set up in Agility, as Heatmor did a little damage with Slash. Heatmor was the 3-kill with Bite. This sent out Inteleon, and almost like Deja Vu, we got 2 flinches in a row, taking Inteleon to red health. Thanks to sheer dumb luck, we took out Inteleon. Next is Snorlax. Bite did a quarter, as Snorlax went for Body Slam. We switched to Flame Wheel, but I think Hop's Snorlax has Thick Fat. Snorlax then went for Stockpile, as we switched back to Bite. However, we didn't get any flinches, as we took out Snorlax in 5 hits. Arcanine was on red health, and paralyzed, so I switched to Cinescorch for Boltund. Cinescorch went first, and did over half Boltund's health with Flame Wheel. However, Boltund then used Roar, switching Cinescorch for Arcanine, who of course went down to Crunch. I switched back to Cinescorch, and this time, Boltund went first, doing some damage with Crunch before going down. Time for the 6th gem. Usually I would choose Sword or Shield based on which has the harder gems, but for this case, I decided Shield was a better choice, so we're facing the Ice Gem. I led with Ninetales. Ember left Frostmoth on a third, but then Frostmoth went for Icy Wind, lowering Ninetales' speed. This allowed Frostmoth to land a Bug Buzz, doing over half of Ninetales' health before going down. I switched to Arcanine for Darmanitan. We went first, but Darmanitan survived Flame Wheel on a sliver. It only went for Taunt though. Darmanitan being in low health, activated its Zen mode, allowing it to now outspeed Arcanine. However, it only did a low damage headbutt before going down. Ice-Cube's Ice Face protects it from one physical hit. This allowed it to lower Arcanine's speed with Icy Wind. Ice-Cube then used a useless Freeze Dry, but then it also survived Flame Whip. I was thinking it would snap Hail to revive its Ice Phase, so I had Arcanine use Will-O-Wisp, just for Ice-Cube to go for another Freeze Dry. Ice-Cube went down to burn damage, leaving only Lapras. As is tradition by now, I switched into Cinescorch. We went for G-Rex and Inferno to set Fire Spin. It only did a quarter, as Lapras Max Geyser did half of Cinescorch's health. I then had Cinescorch use Max Flutterby, but because of the rain, the special attack drop was not enough to save Cinescorch from a second Max Geyser. I sent back out Arcanine, and while Bite did good damage, it was not enough, leading to Arcanine going down. However, then Lapras went down the Fire Spin damage. Following a gym is another battle with Hop. I'm just going to go straight to the winning tip on this one. I led with Ninetales. We went for Will-O-Wisp and Fire Spin before switching to Ember. Double had only gone for takedown once, before spamming Growl. However, Ninetales is a special attacker. After one Ember, the Burn and Fire Spin took Double the red health, causing Hop to use his Hyper Potion. Double still decided to only go for Growl, so it went down with Ninetales at just below half health. Inteleon was next, so I switched to Arcanine. Inteleon went first and used Tearful Look, as I had Arcanine use Agility. Bite was only doing a quarter, but then Inteleon went for a second Tearful Look, and then a third. However, once we had gotten Inteleon to a quarter, it finally went for Snipe Shot, taking out Arcanine. With Inteleon on such low health, I sent back out Ninetales, who finished off Inteleon with Quick Attack. I then switched to Cinescorch for Picurchin. I had Cinescorch start sending out Coil, as Picurchin's Bubble Beam did a quarter. 2 Bubble Beams took Cinescorch to yellow health. activating Citrus Berry. That was our cue to start attacking. With now +2 in attack, Flame Wheel one-shot Picurchin and Corviknight. For Snorlax we switched to Bug Bite, but it survived at a quarter. Snorlax's Body Slam though did not get the paralysis, so it went down the following turn. We can now go down round 9, where we get the Mount Morning. Liepard set up 2 nasty plots, despite not knowing a special move yet, as I and Ninetales used Will-O-Wisp and Fire Spin. Liepard then went for Torment, however after only 1 Ember, Liepard went down to residual damage. We went for our trusty combo against Toxicroak, who went for Swagger, before finally damaging Ninetales with Venom Shock. Toxicroak then survived Ember at a quarter. However, even at such low health, Toxicroak survived its status afflictions, allowing Morny to use your Hyper Potion. This gave Toxicroak a chance to use one more Venom Shock before going down. With Ninetales at low health, I switched to Arcanine for Scrafty. Arcanine missed his first Will-O-Wisp, as Scrafty used Crunch. He then landed his second as Scrafty used Scary Face, lowering Arcanine's speed. Scrafty now at sped. Its crunches had gotten Arcanine almost half. But then, as we got Scrafty to a quarter, it went for a second Scary Face before going down. Last is Morpeko. Its Spark took Arcanine to low health, as Flame Wheel took Morpeko to a quarter. Arcanine went down the next turn. I then set out Ninetales for some reason, to get some chip damage with Quick Attack before going down. All we had left was Cinescorch. However, Morpeko wasted his turn on Torment, so it went down to Bug Bite. On to the 7th gym. I led with Ninetales, making Scrafty's Intimidate pointless. Scrafty did some chip damage with Fake Out, but next turn, we got off our Will-O-Wisp. Scrafty's payback then got crit, taking Ninetales down to half. Ninetales missed her Fire Spin, as Scrafty landed a Sand Attack. But Ninetales did land her second Fire Spin, as Scrafty's payback took Ninetales low health. Ember only did a little damage, but then Scrafty switched to Rip Break, which Ninetales survived on 3 HP. This allowed us to use one more Ember, but the residual damage was not enough to take out Scrafty. With Ninetales down, I switched to Cinescorch. I had Cinescorch set up a coil. Scrafty's payback did not do that much damage, so it went down to its burn. Malamar was a one-shot Bug Bite. Obstacle survived Bug Bite at half health, but then it went for counter, one-shot Cinescorch. All we had left was Arcanine. I decided to have Arcanine start with Will-O-Wisp, as Obstacle went for Throat Chop. The drop in attack allowed us to take out Obstacle with 2 Flame Wheels. Last is Hunting. It failed the Sucker Punch, as we set up Will-O-Wisp. 2 Flame Wheels took Skuntank to red health, as it wasted its turn on Screech and Toxic. Skuntank then went for a weak Sucker Punch as we finished it off. Time for the final gym. This was the hardest challenge on the road so far. Raihan leads with Flygon and Gigalith. While Flygon has no ground moves, it has Breaking Swipe, which lowers its target's attack stat. We have 2 physical attackers. Gigalith is very defensive, and knows Rock Blast, but more importantly, Stealth Rocks, which do double damage to Cinescorch. I tried to start by burning Flygon and Gigalith to lower their attack stats. This did lower Flygon's damage, but Gigalith would then just switch to Body Press, which uses its defense stat. We would then take out Flygon. This sent out Sandaconda, who would just use Glare, causing our Pokemon to become slower than it and Raihan's Ace Duraludon. This took a lot of grinding. With the team in all the high 50s and low 60s, we got this attempt. I still led with Ninetales or Arcanine in order to get the double burn. Flygon then went for Breaking Swipe, as Gigalith went for Stealth Rocks. I had Ninetales holding leftovers, so it didn't need to worry about the Sandstorm. We then went for Fire Spin and Bite into Flygon, getting the flinch. Gigalith went for Body Press, but it's not dangerous at all. The next turn, I had Ninetales use Fire Spin on Gigalith, as I had Arcanine again use Bite on Flygon, leaving it in red health as it used Breaking Swipe. Flygon went down the residual damage. This spread out Sandaconda, who immediately burned. Arcanine's Bite didn't do that much damage, but we did get the flinch. I then had Ninetales use Fire Spin and Arcanine Flame Wheel, taking Sandaconda to a quarter. Sandaconda went for Glare, paralyzing Arcanine. The Sandstorm then ended, and Sandaconda's residual damage left at a sliver. We switched out Arcanine for Cinescorch. The Stealth Rocks did over half of Cinescorch's health, but we had Citrus Berry to heal him back to green health. We had Ninetales use Quick Attack, but then Sandaconda lived the hit, allowing it to use Glare on Ninetales. Sandaconda went down to its burn, bringing out Duraludon. Duraludon was faster than both Cinescorch and or paralyzed Ninetales. Its max Rockfall took Cinescorch straight to red health, as G-Max Inferno took Duraludon to almost half. We then had Ninetales go for Will-O-Wisp, burning Duraludon. Gigalith then finally went for Rock Blast, which sadly took out Cinescorch. But hey, Gigalith finally went down the Fire Spin. I sit back out Arcanine, who lowered Duraludon's attack more with Intimidate, but went down to max Rockfall. All we had was Ninetales, but with all the attack drops, Duraludon's last max Rockfall only took Ninetales to half health. She did get fully paralyzed though. With Duraludon out of Dynamax, we discovered max Rockfall was Stone Edge. But Duraludon thankfully did not get a crit, as we got fully paralyzed for a second turn, before finally getting off an Ember when it got our final badge. We can now head to Winden, where we can buy vitamins. None of the team have maxed out EVs yet, so I gave each member 10 vitamins in their respective offensive stats. 10 protein for each Arcanine and Cinescorch, and 10 calcium for Ninetales. I then discovered the team's EVs were still not maxed, so I gave them each 5 Carbos to boost their speed. I then ran out of money, so we're off to Winden Stadium, where we get to battle Marnie. We led with Cinescorch. Liepard went for Torment as we set up Coil. We couldn't use it twice in a row, so we went for Smokescreen. Liepard's Snarls weren't doing that much damage, so after a second Coil, we went for Bug Bite, one-shotting Liepard. Scrafty was a one-shot Flame Wheel. This made us go for Bug Bite and a Toxicroak though, but thankfully, Toxicroak missed his swagger. This allowed us to finish it off with Flame Wheel. Morpeko got in some damage with Spark, but it was a one-shot Bug Bite. And Dynamax. Torment does not work, so against Grimmsnarl, we could go for max Flutterby, which one-shot it. Next is Hawk. We set up 2 Coils, as Double set up Cotton Guard before going for Body Slam. Double survived Bug Bite at just below half, but its second Body Slam failed to get the paralysis, so Double went down. Corviknight was a one-shot Flame Wheel. We set up 2 more Coils against Snorlax, whose high horsepower didn't do that much damage. Pincurchin was a one-shot, leaving only Inteleon. Inteleon went first, but it went for max Darkness, allowing Cinescorch to take it out with max Flutterby. With the semifinals done, we now have the Skeletor's Tower, where we have to face Oleana. I led with Arcanine. Frostlass was a one-shot Flame Wheel. This then sent out Milotic. Arcanine for this battle was holding the Choice Band, so we could only use Flame Wheel. Thankfully, Milotic went for Aquaring and Safeguard. However, Milotic then survived our third Flame Wheel, allowing it to use Surf, which got a crit, because of course it got a crit. After Milotic came Salazzle. Salazzle survived Flame Wheel at half health, but then Arcanine survived Finish Shock on Sliver, giving him the chance to finish off Salazzle. Serena was next, so I switched to Cinescorch. Serena was a one-shot Bug Bite, so lost his Garbodor, who was a crit one-shot. We can now start the finals, but first is the battle with Bead. I led with Arcanine, but thanks to Mama's Intimidate, it survived Flame Wheel on a Sliver. This caused Bead to use his Full Restore, but a single bite, and then Flame Wheel took out Mawile. Against Gardevoir, we went for a Bite, but it did less than half. Gardevoir just went for Wish. I then misclick and hit Will-O-Wisp, as Gardevoir went for Psychic. Wish then activated, fully healing Gardevoir. We then switched back to Flame Wheel, which was looking like a 2-hit KO, but Gardevoir only went for Calm Mind, so Arcanine didn't receive any more damage. We went back to Bite for Rapidash, and on our second one, we got a flinch, so we only got hit once as we took out Rapidash in 3 hits. Last is Hatterene, so I switched to Cinescorch. We went for max Flutterby to lower Hatterene's special attack, but then it went for max Flare, causing Hatterene to go down the next turn. Time for Nessa. I led with Arcanine against Golisopod. We started with the Will-O-Wisp, as Golisopod set up Sword Stance. We then went for Bite and got the flinch, allowing us to go for a second Bite, activating Golisopod's emergency exit. This sent up Barraskewda. Arcanine went first, and Bite took Barraskewda down to a quarter, as Barraskewda's liquidation did half Arcanine's health. I guess Arcanine and Barraskewda had a speed tie, because the next turn, Barraskewda went first, and its drill run took Arcanine to red health before going down. This brought back out Golisopod. I thought Nessa would use her Full Restore, but she didn't, so Golisopod went down. I switched to Cinescorch for Seaking. I knew Seaking would use Aqua Ring, so I had Cinescorch use Coil, 3 times. This allowed Cinescorch to tank Seaking's waterfalls pretty well. Seaking was then a one-shot Bug Bite. This though sent out Pelipper, who resists Bug Bite, so it survived the hit instead of Tailwind. I knew Nessa would heal, so I had Cinscorch set up a 4th coil. Pelipper is a special attacker, so it went for Water Pulse, taking Cinscorch to low health. Pelipper then survived our +4 Bug Bite on Sliver, so Cinscorch went down. I took out Pelipper with Ninetales. I then switched out Ninetales for Arcanine, so we can intimidate Dreadnought. I didn't Dynamax Arcanine, instead I had him Bird Dreadnought before going down the Dreadnought's GMX Stone Surge. The move applies Stealth Rocks to the field, so Ninetales did take some damage. I then Dynamax Ninetales and went for Max Flare. Dreadnought's GMX Stone Surge didn't do that much damage. I'm pretty sure Leftovers healed most of the damage the attack did. I then had Ninetales waste Dreadnought's last turn of Dynamax for Max Guard. Against normal Dreadnought, Max Flare took it to half. When we finally left Dynamax, we went for Fire Spin, but then Dreadnought got a crit with Rock Tomb. With Ninetales at now -2 speed, instead of keeping up with the super effective moves, Dreadnought switched to Jaw Lock, basically guaranteeing us our win. Next is Alistair. I led with Arcanine. Dusk Noir survived Bite and hit Arcanine with Rock Tomb, lowering his speed. However, Arcanine still went first and took out Dusk Noir. This brought out Cursola, who was a one-shot. Chandelure went first, it took Arcanine to almost half, but it was also a one-shot. Poltergeist quickly went down, so all that remained was Gengar. Gengar outspeed Arcanine. Its Max Ooze took Arcanine to a 3rd, but then our Max Darkness one-shot Gengar. Last is Raihan. I led with Cinscorch. We started by setting up coils, as Torkoal went for Yawn and then Body Press. Body Press wasn't doing that much damage. Even when asleep, we were in no danger. When we woke up, we set up a 3rd coil before going for Flame Wheel, which took Torkoal to a 1/4. Torkoal had gone for Yawn again, so I had Cinscorch go for another coil. I didn't want to face one-up Raihan's dragons while asleep. Once we woke up again, we set up a 5th coil before finishing off Torkoal. With now +5 attack, we easily one-shot Gudra. Turtonair did survive on a Sliver, but wasted his turn on Sunny Day. Raihan then used his Force Door, so while Turtonair lived another hit, it just went down the following turn. Flygon outsped, but set up Sandstorm, so it went down, leaving only Duraludon, who we one-shot. This would have led us to our battle with Leon, but first we need to battle Chairman Rose. His team are all Steel types, so he was no issue. We were not strong enough to one-shot his Pokemon, except for Ferrothorn, but we didn't lose a single Pokemon in the entire battle. Time for Eternatus. I led with Ninetales. Eternatus went first and spammed Cross Poison, as I had Ninetales use Fire Spin and Wolos. I then switched out Ninetales for Arcanine, but then Eternatus switched from its physical Cross Poison to its special Dragon Pulse, doing a lot of damage. Eternatus was choosing its moves randomly, allowing Arcanine to take it out. Time for Return Max Eternatus. I had Ninetales go for Fire Spin, but not Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp would have been pointless, since Eternatus can just dispel it. I then switched to Arcanine. We couldn't do that much damage, but Arcanine was bulky enough to survive 2 max war minutes. Hop's double did go down though, but then his Snorlax got the final hit. Finally, it's time for Leon. I led with Ninetales, because hitting Aegislash's King Shield with a physical move would lower our attack stat. I had Ninetales start with the Fire Spin, as Aegislash went on the offensive and used Shadow Ball, doing almost half of Ninetales' health. We then took out Aegislash with Ember. This sent out Haxorus. I had Ninetales go for Will-O-Wisp in order to lower the power of Haxorus' Earthquake. This allowed Ninetales to survive the hit. We then switched to Cinscorch. Haxorus though then switched to Outrage, doing over half of Cinscorch's health. We set up a coil, which allowed us to survive another Outrage. Bug-Bite then took Haxorus straight to a Sliver, causing Haxorus to go down to its burn. This sent out Seismitoad. It survived Bug-Bite with a 1/4, so Cinscorch went down. I sent an Arcanine, but then Seismitoad survived Bite with a Sliver. Seismitoad though just went for Toxic. Leon then used his Force Door, and because Seismitoad was looking like a 4 KO, Arcanine went down. Time to grind. I got the entire team to level 75. The start of the battle was still the same. Fire Spin at the start as Aegislash used Shadow Ball. However, this time, Aegislash used King Shield, resulting in it being a shield form when we went for Ember. This allowed it to survive the hit with a Sliver, so Ninetales got hit with the second Shadow Ball activating her Citrus Berry before we can take out Aegislash. We still use Will-O-Wisp and Haxorus, but this time, we set up a Fire Spin before Ninetales went down. I sent out Centiskorch. Haxorus still outsped, but Centiskorch was now bulkier. He was also holding leftovers. This allowed us to set up 3 coils, before taking out Haxorus. Seismitoad was not a one-shot. Cinderace did quite a bit of damage to Acrobatics, but we got a crit with Bug Bite, guaranteeing a one-shot. Dragapult is a special attacker. Its Shadow Ball took Centiskorch to below a quarter, as Bug Bite took Dragapult to a quarter. Dragapult was faster, but then Centiskorch survived Shadow Ball with a sliver, allowing him to finish off Dragapult. Last is Charizard. I switched to Arcanine. Charizard uses all special moves, so Intimidate was pointless. Arcanine outsped Charizard. Max Darkness did a quarter, as Charizard's Max Rockfall surprisingly also did a quarter. And then Arcanine used Max Guard, before a second Max Darkness, which took Charizard down to a quarter. Charizard's second Max Rockfall took Arcanine to a third. This ended our Dynamax. Leon uses Force Sword, as Bite did a third. Our second Bite took Charizard to a sliver, as Charizard went for Ancient Power, taking Arcanine to a sliver. Out of sheer luck, the Sandstorm from Max Rockfall then ended. It would have definitely taken out Arcanine otherwise. This gave Arcanine the opening to take out Charizard. We beat Pokemon Shield with only Kabu's team. That was easy in some places and rough in others. I hope y'all will join my next video, where we're going back to Skyrim to see if I can beat Skyrim as a White Guard. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.